My guest in the studio today is Rachel Thompson, who is the Executive Officer of Bankstown Canterbury Community Transport, which is a real mouthful. We'll sort that to BCCT. And she's, the BCCT has been a provider of transport services in the local community since 1984, and it has 2,000 clients, and its 23 vehicles have done more than 60,000 trips each year. Wow, that's quite a lot. That's quite a lot of trips, that, isn't it? BCCT recently released its strategic plan for 2021 to 2024, and Rachel is here to tell us all about that. So, it's a quite an impressive document there, as you might say. First of all, welcome to the program, Rachel. I really do appreciate your valuable time.
Thanks for having me, John.
No problem at all. Quite an impressive document you've got there. Maybe we can sort of break it down into stages, if you like, as we work through it.
Do so.
So it's 15 pages, and it's got sort of nice little diagrams and so forth. I guess we should ask the mechanics about the thing. How long did it take to put together, and how many people worked on it to put it together?
So it took us around about 6 months from start to finish. We looked at feedback from clients over the past 3 years' worth of client feedback surveys, our complaints and compliments that have been received over that period of time as well.
You wouldn't have had too many complaints, I'm sure.
No, compliments definitely outweigh our complaints.
Yes.
So we do keep a track of all of our complaints and our compliments. So we looked at what we'd received through feedback mechanisms from our clients and also from our staff. So we did include all staff in the development of this document, asked them for where they thought we were going, what we should be doing, what areas we did well, what needed to be improved on. And then we sat down as a board of directors with an external consultant to go through.
You wouldn't be doing too many things wrong, I wouldn't say, since you've been going since 1985.
Well, it's been a big journey over the past, it's almost coming up to, 38 years?
Yes.
37 years?
Yes.
So it's been a bit of a journey. But we've had a number of changes of focus in that period of time and how we deliver our services, and that's mostly based on the funding that we receive, kind of helps dictate what we can and can't do.
Yes.
So this
has that been difficult getting that, the funding? It's been coming through all right? State government, I presume, is it?
Yes and no, John. So it's federal government money, which we mostly receive through a state government contract for aged care transport services. We do have a direct contract with the federal government as well, but the majority of our money is through the state government with Transport for New South Wales. And we do unfunded service delivery as well. So for people who are on home care packages, NDIS packages, and people who aren't on any kind of a package, we can provide transport to them. Which is not funded. So we do receive funding for primarily people over the age of 65 under the Commonwealth Home Support Program, which is the federal government program.
Yes, good. Yeah. Okay.
So we sat down as a board in November to go through all the feedback and look at changes that we knew were coming in relation to the two Royal Commissions, the one into aged care and the one into disability, to look at where we thought the future was going to head, and looked at our funding contracts, which currently are only until the end of next financial year, so until the 30th of June 2022. That's as far as we know we've got funding for. Beyond that, it's an uncertain world. The federal government has said that the contracts will be extended to 2023, but we don't have anything in writing about that yet. And then beyond that, they're looking at a total overhaul of aged care transport, aged care funding. So the board thought we needed to be future-proofed, and so we sat down and workshopped, and then this document came out as a result of that.
Okay, let's talk about what's in the document there now.
So it outlines new mission and vision statements, new tagline, and new goals for the organisation. So our previous strategic plan was quite inward focused, and we changed a lot of our internal procedures and systems. And this document is more externally focused. So it's looking at engagement, partnerships, innovation, recruiting volunteers. So it's all more outward focused.
And I imagine with COVID, it's changed quite a bit, hasn't it?
It has. And so a lot of what we had in our previous strategic plan wasn't able to be implemented because of COVID restrictions and COVID changes and demands. So we've had to be quite responsive to the circumstances that we're living through at the moment.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've got a new tagline, which is transporting our community to a more connected future. Previously, we were transport with care, but it's more than just care. It's about ensuring that there are social connections to community, ensuring that we limit social isolation as much as possible so that people can remain independent living in their homes while still maintaining connections to the communities that they've been a part of for many years.
Is that an ongoing thing? Is that problem of isolation?
Yes, and COVID has seriously exacerbated that as well.
Sure.
So we, prior to COVID, were doing a social outing 6 days a week.
Yes.
And it was a very strong program. Lots of clients would go out. That all had to stop with COVID-19. And we saw a lot of our clients just calling the office because they had no external contact.
Yes.
They weren't able to go out. The government was saying stay home, especially if you're over these ages. So we implemented a phone calling program to help them maintain some social connections. We partnered with the library to do a books to home service instead of a home to books service, which is what we were doing previously.
Yes.
So we were looking at some of those things that we could do. But now a lot of those restrictions have eased. We're back to doing social outings 6 days a week. It is still restricted though, based on venue capacities and things like that. So
yes, it is a changing thing, isn't it?
It is a changing
from
thing.
week to week, really.
It is, and we've had to be quite, responsive. And sometimes it's compulsory again for 2 weeks to wear masks. It's not compulsory anymore. We can be at full capacity in our vehicles, 50%, 75%. So it's had to be quite reactive, and we want to thank our clients for understanding that a lot of these changes have to happen, and that we thank them for abiding by all those changes as they happen. So.
Yes. Now, I was going to say, you do things like training your volunteers and that sort of thing, and that's a big part of your report there.
Yes.
So maybe you could tell us a bit about that as well too.
Well, we don't have many volunteers, and that's partly because of COVID as well, is that people over certain ages were not able to volunteer anymore. So we're going back to building all of that up. So we have a number of training requirements that we have to have as part of our contracts and standards, and we train our volunteers to that as well as our staff. So we close 4 times a year for all staff, all volunteer training, and we had one of those last week where we did fire safety, a couple of fire evacuation exercises, including fire evacuations from vehicles, learning how to use fire extinguishers. We had a lot of fun actually putting out fires, using fire blankets and things like that. And then we followed through with some wheelchair training, how to use the wheelchair hoist, lock them down securely in the vehicles and things like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you're pretty busy. One thing and another, training people and whatnot.
Yes, no. So all of our staff and volunteers have to have a first aid certificate, trained in fire safety. The next lot of training that we'll be doing in September will be focusing on trauma-informed care, because a lot of the people that we provide transport to have experienced trauma in their life in one way or another, and they often need to talk that out with people.
Yes. Now, I see that, some of these services that you provide, it's taking people to local GPs, specialists, as you talk about then, social outings, shopping, and also out of the area specialists as well. So you've covered quite a big gamut of the services and so forth there. Yes.
So we don't restrict people on what the purpose of their transport is.
No.
It's not for us to say you can or can't do that. It's just up to us to facilitate that, as long as it's within a service area that we cover. So.
And we might as well bring it up there now. You're involved with the car show on Sunday as well.
We are taking clients to the car show, the East Hills Car Show, which is happening this weekend.
Yes.
So that's exciting. It's the first time we've actually provided service on a Sunday, so we'll see how Sundays go, and if it's successful and we get positive feedback, we might look to expand.
So how many
services.
people will you be taking to the car show?
I think we're taking up to 20 is the maximum capacity we can take. I'm not sure where the bookings are at the moment, but if any clients are listening and they want to go along to the car show, call the office and we'll get you on the vehicle.
Yes. What else would you like to bring up in the report in particular that I see that you're obviously doing something right, because as we were talking about before, you've got 73% have been with you for more than 2 years, and the overall satisfaction is nearly 100%. So I mean, you're obviously doing something right, have been doing something right since 1987 or 85, whatever.
84.
84. Sorry, I'll get it right. Yes, I'll get it right. Yes. Yeah.
I think we do provide a positive service. We do listen to feedback, and we try and implement feedback that we do receive. But once again, a lot of the things that we can and can't do are restricted by our funding contracts. So we can't necessarily please everyone because we are tied at times as to what we can and can't do.
Sure.
But for what we do, I think we do a very good job.
Yes, obviously. So. Now, you were talking about volunteers. Maybe we can anybody who'd like to get involved with your organisation, maybe you could talk about the requirements that you have for them, or any special skills and so forth. And obviously we'll give out a telephone number.
Okay, happy to do so.
Yes.
So as I said before, we do have to have all of our volunteers have to have certain training. So they do have to have a police check, a working with children check, and a first aid certificate. We can assist with obtaining all of those to bring you on board. We have a number of volunteering opportunities. So if you've got a driver's license and want to be a driver, we can facilitate that. If you don't want to be responsible behind the wheel, we are always looking for bus assistance as well to help clients get on and off vehicles, ensure that on social outings that they're being well catered to, that they know where they're going.
Does any of the volunteering lead to jobs? Lead to full-time?
Yes,
So really? Okay.
We have had a number of staff who came to us through volunteering and through other programs where they were required to do volunteer hours. So that might have been through Work for the Dole programs, corrective services programs, work placements for students who are doing certificates that are relevant to our industry. So we have employed people through a number of different mechanisms in the past. So.
Oh, excellent. Good. Now, is there anything in particular that anything else that you feel that we haven't spoken about as yet?
We're always looking to collaborate.
Yes.
So we have just started recently a collaboration with the Arab Council of Australia, where we're doing an Arabic speaking support group on once a week. We're providing the transport to help them get out and about. We do the same with a Greek welfare group. We have been in partnership for a number of years with Coolaboo Neighbourhood Centre, also here in Padstow, for their friendship and social support group. We met with them the other day to help kind of increase the numbers back up, which they have dropped off dramatically due to COVID-19. So we're always looking for collaborations, partnerships, helping how we can facilitate social connections and social support.
Oh, excellent.
So anyone's out there needing transport to and from.
Do you want to give the telephone number?
Our phone number is 9772 4928. Sorry, I can't even remember the phone number myself.
And it's obviously business hours when people get in contact.
Yes, so our phone lines are open 8 a.m. till 4 p.m. If you can't get us, which a lot of people couldn't on Friday, I've never seen our phones so busy on Friday. Just try again. So every single line was lit up
Oh,
on
God.
Friday. It was just
great.
non-stop.
That's great news,
yeah,
isn't it?
no,
It
it
really is. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. All right, Rachel, thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate your valuable time and telling us about the report. It certainly sort of seems to be, you're heading in a certain direction. You've had to make changes, and it sounds like you're going with them quite well.
Oh, I hope so.
Yes.
So, one more thing I just wanted to say
Sure.
was we did have a strategic plan launch, which was well attended, and we had a number of clients and a number of local dignitaries attend. And I just wanted to thank Wally from the Chamber of Commerce and State Member for Lakemba, Jihad Dib, for coming along and speaking to launch this actual report. So,
Excellent. I'm glad it went all very well for you.
It was good.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Rachel. I really do appreciate your time, and look forward to next time when we have a chat with you again.
Thank you, John.
Thank you so much.